friends, my name is Penny. Welcome to Coppertree Acres. If it's your first time here, we are a 4-acre small pecan farm, and we also raise chickens for eggs, grow organic vegetables, and fruit trees. And today is Irrigation Day. It was our second one for the season this year, and I'm going to take you around, show you what we've been up to this morning. Early, just kind of getting the water redirected, feed all the pecan trees and fruit trees, and just show you all the fun ins and outs of it. I've been out here kind of directing the water, and now I'm having some coffee, and it is coming in so much better than last time, which is always to be expected. The second flow is always better than the first. All of this stuff you see down here, these are all the flowers from the pecan trees. And they have fallen off, and we now have little nutlets coming in. All right, now that we've got good flow here and a lot of water, I can kind of show you the pathways. Everything follows all the pathways. So this is our main quad, or what we consider our main quad. It's right up front, and if I sound shaky or out of breath, these boots are super heavy, so they just kind of, when you hit the ground, it just kind of jars you. So as you can see, we've got awesome flow here, like a little river, little creek coming through, and then it makes its way down here, and this goes under the driveway to the house. Now I blocked this one off because I want to get this main one filled first, and it still runs through, so you can see right over here you still get a really good flow through here. It just kind of helps, because once I release that, you'll see how the water just goes down. So today we've got our water for 4 hours. Started early. Looks like somebody's been drinking. This came down the ditch apparently. Cooler's Light. All right, so then we have another inlet here that kind of just heads into that main quad. And then over here, this water, all of it flows from the main inlet to the property, which is right there. Culvert, if you will. And then there's a little pathway and a pipe right under this section, so we can walk across and go over the back. And then this whole back gets filled. There's a couple different spots that it flows over and under. So this goes under in a pipe into the main. And then way down there, I'll show you after a while, does the same thing, but it's not a pipe. And actually we need to work on that section because it's getting eroded a little bit too much. So this gets really full. Birds love it. Usually there's birds all over the place when it first starts coming in. After they get their drinks in the morning, they kind of back off from it. All right, and now I'll show you the front. So there's a pipe that is right down here, right below this section. You can't see it. Let me see. Yeah. I'll have to clear that and show you. But anyway, this pipe goes over here and underground and feeds all of the pine trees out front and some of our front yard. But luckily it doesn't go up too far. I got the dahlias planted right there and they're starting to come up. They don't like wet feet, so luckily this won't last too long. I think they'll be fine because this soil tends to drain really well and dry out pretty fast. So from there, you'll see there's the water coming in. It makes its way down here. So there's the main quad. Across the little road here. Flows by the gazebo. Makes its way down to this section. And there's also under the road a spot where it comes from the main quad when it's that full over into this section as well and feeds this section, which waters these trees. And then there's a ton of debris on the ground right now because it's all of the flowers from the pecans, first flower. So we have little netlets coming in because they're dropping their flowers already. So you'll see all that flows into now this pipe, which I keep cleared, goes underground and flows back here. As you can see, we've got a really good flow going on right now. And then that starts to feed the whole back path and all these quads back here. So I'm going to take you up and show you what goes around once I pull this garner that I've got, the board that's covering the pipe, and I let the flow go down. We're going to pull the plug up here, which is going to slow this flow down a ton, and it's going to open it up for the next area I will take you down. Garner with these, just these pieces of wood. Look at that. Now we'll let it go for the last hour and 20 down this direction because that will take it further down the back half of the property to the back trees, hopefully. Hopefully we'll reach some of the very back trees, but I'm guessing we will not because we're only doing 4 hours. Whatever doesn't get watered, we'll use the well to water it. Hey, baby, you ready to play? All right, so see, flow already slowed way down. Now, sometimes I just pull this part way. It just depends on what we need to do. Sometimes I don't let the whole flow go fully, but this time I think it's gonna work just fine to just let it go now because this got really good coverage. The front got good coverage, and that back part of the front that I just showed you. We'll move on to show you where this all goes. Alright, going down around the south side of the house and flowing down around the pomegranate trees, pomegranate bushes. Apple tree, pecan tree, clover on the ground. And this takes us pear tree. Background this area, and now this will start filling up, and this little river type section right here flows to the back, and I'll show you that in a minute. But so this is coming from that section I just showed you a bit ago. So now that I pulled the plug on that front, we've got the water. It's going to start slowing down there. And it'll keep coming around that south side. I was kind of trying to determine whether or not I should pull it when I did or wait. See how deep this river thing is. Dandelions, trying not to mow too much in May. And we are at the tail end of May right now. I try not to mow too much. In May I only mowed once, and I didn't even mow everything. You can see this comes all the way around. Birds are enjoying it back here. Look at all the birds. So what'll happen is this section will start to fill. It'll start to fill up, and then this will keep coming in, and this will fill up. I don't know that we have enough time for all this to fill up, but I probably should have pulled it a little bit sooner, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So it already is filling right here, so that's good. And what happens over here is once it gets to this section, kind of has to go up a little bit of a hill and then through this culvert, and then makes its way back here if we run it long enough. We're just not probably going to run it long enough today, so we'll water those back trees with the well. And the reason for that is it costs to run this irrigation per hour, and currently we are budgeting out for 4 hours, and that's it, instead of 6. Our usual would be 6, but I'm going to go with 4 right now, because we have a lot of other things to take care of on the farm that require money as well. I didn't even know the water had overflowed over here yet. It looks like they're having a good time with it. Are you having a good time, ladies? Did it bring in any bugs? Getting your feet wet for the first time? Big girls are jealous right now. Enough came up to water the peach trees, just about, which is really cool. It means we put them in a really good spot. Just low enough, not too low into the section to where they're going to be flooded out too much, but just have enough water to those roots. That would be awesome, because I was just going to water them. We'll play after a while, baby. Can't play right now, but I gotta go water the garden. Check it out. We even made our way to the back just a bit. And I gotta get a flip of the water. Turn it down south to the next property. So we didn't get all these trees watered, which we didn't anticipate would happen anyway, but it's nice to see that it did make it back here. Got a couple of the trees, and it got this whole mid-back quad, as we call it. So it's good, it's good. It was a good flow. All right, it's time to go. Turn the water down south. Well, it was a pretty amazing flow this time, that's for sure. Let me go explore around a little bit here. In case you didn't watch my first video about the irrigation that we get here, the irrigation ditch is a 7-mile ditch that was created back in the late 1800s by the settlers of this town. And it was created to bring water down from the San Pedro River into the valley of the town here and irrigate all the farmland. At one point in time, this was all cornfields back here on this property in particular. And much of the land out here was used for farming. And so they brought all the water down and created the ditch back then. And so now it's just for all of the homeowners that were farm owners, small farms in the area that still remain, to obviously irrigate their crops. Pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty neat thing. The only experience I have with any kind of irrigation as a kid was when the schoolyard, basically the big field in the schoolyard, got irrigated by my grandmother's house in Yuma, Arizona, which was a small little town there at the time anyway. And we used to go and run in the fields, and we could get into the, it was just grass fields of Bermuda. And we had the best time running and playing in that. I don't know if any of you have any experience with playing in the irrigation water back in the day, or any really cool memories of that, but if so, share them in the comments. I absolutely thought that was the funnest thing, that the grass was water, but you could walk in it and see the bottom. And I've always appreciated bodies of water, love rivers, would love to live right near a river. We kind of do. We have a wash behind the property, and during the monsoon season we get lots of rain that comes down and that creates the wash flowing. And so we get to go enjoy that out back. It's a ton of fun. But I just think this is neat. This just reminds me of those days. And I just wish that I had my kids back, my 2 boys, to play in it right now, or kids here to play in it, maybe one day. But because they just have a blast. This is just river water that comes down. So it's like going swimming in the river, if you don't mind doing that. And I just think it's really cool. I love it when we get this much. We don't always get this big of a flow, but the river stayed really high this year, and it's flowing really good after all the ditch work. And I can't complain, and all the other people in the area that have little farms are very grateful. This is our hens' favorite time, of course. You can imagine the amount of bugs they find. A while, hasn't it? They didn't really get to enjoy the last round too much because there just wasn't enough water. But they'll get to enjoy this one once they figure out it's here. It's kind of taken them a bit to get over here. Well, I hope you enjoyed checking out the irrigation this time. That's about a wrap as the waters recede around here and you get to just enjoy the beautiful day. A lot of times on irrigation day, it just ends up being an entire day has to be devoted to checking water and moving, gates and things like that. You've got to drop everything else for the most part, or run back and forth and do a lot of different things to try to make anything else happen that day. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Stay tuned. Life is short. Live it well. Take care. Bye-bye. Pretty good flow indeed. We even got the back property, which is huge. It doesn't always reach back here for a 4-hour flow. We've got a good deal going on. Didn't get to this one, so I'm gonna have to dig a little bit of a swell so that the water gets redirected and we don't get so much out this back. There used to be a few trees way back there, so it used to go around when it was flowed enough.